Hello Canterbury and welcome to Canterbury Live on Tuesday, April 28th. Very important that we actually touch on the tragedy that happened on Saturday. As you know, there was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake that rocked Nepal. They believe that there has been near 4,000 killed at this point, 7,000 injured. Comments like the destruction in Kathmandu being the capital is stark, there's temples reduced to rubble, people are buried in the wreckage of their homes, and the hospitals are short on medical supplies and overflowing, as you would imagine, with patients. And they are crying out, of course, for the earthquakes, the water, household supplies, temporary shelter. All of these resources need funds, they need money. Tomorrow on the show, I will have the privilege of having Dr. Rajesh Takhan here. He's the president of the Nepal New Zealand Transient Society of Canterbury, and so we'll be discussing exactly what, of course, some of his family, his friends and the society are facing, the troubling time, of course, communication. They can't talk to those at home in Nepal. There is a Give a Little page that's been set up though, and we've got the details showing there for you now. It is givealittle.cause/NZ4 Nepal. We'll talk more of this with Dr. Rajesh tomorrow, but any amount that you can give would be gratefully received. We all know how much it affected our community. Just think over to others at the moment, and especially in Nepal, because definitely our thoughts are with them at this time. Coming up on today's show, Diane joins me from Retropolitan, bringing all those wonderful goodies of times of old, Art Deco especially. The Terra Viva Gift Queen, Shirley, is here. Mother's Day is approaching, and how will you spoil your mother this Mother's Day? And the spiritual queen, Phyllis Brown. And we're talking today about fear. But first up, some ideas on what to maybe possibly make for your mother this Mother's Day. We're out on location with Nourish and Nicola Freya.
This is the second week of our Mother's Day gift ideas from the kitchen, and today we're going to do a beautiful rosemary flavoured olive oil. So it's a very, very simple thing to do, but I think it matches up really beautifully with the dukkha that we made last week. So to start with, you just need to have some rosemary. So I just bought the standard rosemary from the supermarket. What you need to do is wash that really well, because when you're making this sort of product, you've got to be very careful of the bacteria that can grow if you are not getting rid of all the dampness thoroughly. So wash this very carefully, then pop it in the oven just to heat it through just for a few minutes. Just keep an eye on it so that it just dries out and you don't have wetness getting in with the oil, because then that can be dangerous. So that's what I did that yesterday, and I'm just going to pop the bits of rosemary into my bottles like so. And the other thing, of course, about these bottles is that you must thoroughly wash the bottles. So hot soapy water to start with, and then into a dishwasher, or making sure that you get some boiling water in there just to kill anything that's left and give it a really good rinse. So it's good to have a little bit of the rosemary in there, some different length of pieces, so that some are up high and some are lower. So then you put the olive oil in, and I'm just using a funnel here, otherwise it is a bit tricky. You just have to do this very slowly, otherwise you find that it gets higher than the lip of the bottle, and then you strike trouble with it pouring all over the bench. So I'm just going to do that slowly. The other thing you can do, and this helps with reducing the amount of bacteria that possibly can be about, and also helps intensify the flavour of the herb, is that you can actually heat the oil in a pot and put the rosemary or whatever other herb, you can use all sorts of other herbs, put that in a pot, heat it up, and just let that cool down again, and then bottle that, and that just allows that flavour to really intensify. So you can see there, I've just stopped it just at the lip of the bottle there. You just have to be careful that you don't fill your funnel so high that when it does pour out, it's too high and it comes over the amount that can fit in the bottle. So Just letting it fill in there, and you can see the colour of the olive oil really looks lovely with that green in there. The bottle looks great with some herbs in it. So there we go. Let's pop that over there. So just pop your lid on those. You just need to be careful with storage of them. They will keep in the cupboard for about, or it's recommended only just for about a week that you leave them in the cupboard. Otherwise you can put them in the fridge for 5 to 6 weeks. But just keeping an eye on them that you're not seeing any deterioration in the condition of the herb in particular. That sort of shows you that something might be a bit wrong. So the idea of this is that it was going to be a Mother's Day gift. So I've done one up here with a ribbon round it. And a wee card, or you could just do, if it wasn't for Mother's Day or if you wanted something a bit simpler, you could just have just a ribbon without a card. We also did some dukkha last week that goes really nicely with this present, and because of course you can have dukkha and oil to dip with some bread. So I've just got the packets of dukkha to show you how that would look. With the lovely blue, a bag of dukkha and a gift card, and a lovely combination there with the blue ribbon around the bottle, and just a wee cellophane bag with the black ribbon as well, and that's another combination of those two. The other things you could use them for is when you're cooking meat. If you're cooking pizza bread, you could put dukkha and oil on those as well. Particularly fish and chicken are great with this combination. So that's a gift that can be used a lot in the kitchen if they're having friends around, Mother's Day, or any other time you need a nice gift.
From one great mother to another, Shirley, the Terra Viva gift queen, is here. I was oohing and ahhing a little bit, wasn't I?
You were?
Oh, I tell you what, I'm in heaven at the moment, just looking at you.
It's all the girly stuff.
It is, it's so lush. I'm just loving what I'm seeing all around you. That's the hardest thing, I was picking what you're going to bring in to us, isn't it?
Well, I had a little subject. Go for gorgeous, luxuriousness for winter, and then I heard it was Mother's Day, so I thought, well, that's very cool. Why wouldn't a mum have some luck? So we've got absolutely gorgeous colours this year. This winter, it's all about beautiful purples, rich merlots, beautiful hot pinks, moody blues, going into greys, you know, flick a little bit of pink in there.
Well, I love that cushion. It is so lush.
It is gorgeous.
Just, it's
all velvety with
yeah.
linen on the back, so it can still be quite neutral if you want to flick it around, but totally beautiful. Wintertime you can just have this out, and then in the summertime pop it away and go for your oranges or your
Isn't it amazing what a cushion can do though? It really can make a couch or just the surroundings pop, can't it? Especially with that bold colour.
Yeah.
You know, the old bird is looking here and she's looking at that colour there and thinking, my goodness, what a gorgeous. Is that a poncho? Or?
Well, it is a poncho. I'll just put this here, a bit of luxe as well. The old beads, gorgeous. It is. We sell a lot of clothes over there. I'll bet you everyone didn't know about that. So we don't just sell plants. We do beautiful ponchos. Could throw that on. Mum can throw that on. Go to the rugby, watch the kids.
It's
but it's totally gorgeous just to throw around on chair.
And it's lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's good. And then you did talk about the beads there, though.
Yeah,
They're pretty.
we sell lots and lots of beautiful beads. Pearls are very in, of course, in the winter time. But we also have a lot of crystals. So I bought some little necklaces there. They're beautiful, all in this amethysty colour. But this is rich and gorgeous. And we do.
Is it magnet?
Yeah,
is it
magnetised.
Oh,
hey,
like
make a nice little evening one and casualise it by throwing on the long chain.
Wow.
Is that gorgeous?
Okay, so a very boring thing to say, but very practical for those mums that now may have arthritis or find it very hard to actually put on a necklace.
Yes.
Magnet would make it so much easier. 'Cause even I fumble with the little catches and things.
Yeah, would. But also, this is a cool one because you can just kind of like flick it around here and the little magnet.
That is gorgeous.
So if you've got arthritis, I think you could actually cope with that one.
I think you could, couldn't you? I think you could.
There you go.
Now, leaning behind you, I'm just in love with this throw. It is divine.
Throws vary in this year. We've got the lovely sort of furry thing. We've got the beautiful tufted wool with big tassels on them.
Ooh.
All again in the colours here, like the colours you're wearing.
Yeah.
We're talking
I
about
think you're
moody
coordinated
blues. Yeah, I couldn't have asked better.
But it's very Game of Thrones, isn't it?
It is.
Imagine that, throw that on you. Well, I won't go
know.
too much further with that, but jeepers creepers, it could be a little bit primal really in the lounge.
It is.
Now, going up here though, lamps.
Yep.
Love
Sell a lot of
lamps.
lamps, a lot of chandeliers. Big chandeliers this year and lamps. It just brings in that nice winter warmth and a little bit of luxe.
And there's a different feel with lamps.
Yeah.
Like, rather than lighting a whole room with the, the ceiling lights, something quite special about this soft light
There
that
is.
a lamp does, isn't it?
When I get home, my husband's rigged up a little thing, remote, so I can go click, click, click. The water feature goes on outside, the 2 lamps go on, and we just have it like that for about an hour.
Mrs. Bouquet. It sounds all very lovely, really. And there's a sherry waiting for you at the door. Isn't it nice?
I'm so lucky. Well, we don't have to go outside. I'd probably put my nice fancy hat on that we sell.
Oh, lovely segue. Nice there.
Gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
So, very nice. Lots of hats, scarves, beaut presents for mum, and not expensive either.
No.
So,
I mean, it's lovely, that colour too, rather than
yeah.
the old black. Canterbury love wearing black, but that's nice, the nice brown
lots
tone
of
there.
our clothes are all in caramels, warm sort of nude colours, creams, black.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So you look stunning on the side of the rugby, wouldn't you?
I reckon.
You're rocking it down there.
I reckon.
And the orchids.
Yeah, the orchid. We've got all our artificial flowers have just arrived in for winter, again in all the beautiful rich hues that are around for, or should be around for winter time. But potted up like that, don't have to look after that, bit of dusting.
We love that, don't we?
We do.
And for the office as well.
Yeah,
How
for
lovely.
sure.
It makes you
Yeah.
smile when you have that sitting on your desk.
Indeed.
Down to, okay, they're not crystal, but the crystal look, that sort of art deco.
Yes.
The tops on
Yeah,
there.
it's
so
a bit of
pretty.
luxe, isn't it?
It is luxury.
And I think that's what winter's about, is a little bit of putting the candles on and getting out your nice glasses and filling them up with some nice little red
Good
wine
on
or
you.
something and
Thanks,
feeling
Shirley.
like a
I love it
wonderful
when
mum.
you come in.
No
I don't know
worries.
if you're going to be taking that throwaway, to be fair. I want to bring a bit of Game of Thrones home with me. And happy Mother's Day
Thank
for you
you.
next weekend.
Thank you, and you
lots
too.
and lots of choices at Terra Viva. Now stay with us after the break. From one mum to this mum to another mum, it's Phyllis Brown. What, we've got some strong women on the show today. I'm loving it. Woman, hear me roar. Hey, Phyllis.
Hi there.
You had a great weekend?
I have. I've had a busy weekend, yes, and we did an animal therapy workshop on Sunday, so we were working with some beautiful race horses and a lovely old dog, getting her hips all sorted and what have you. So yeah, it was really exciting.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, fear.
Yes.
Different aspects of fear, but just tell us about what emotion is fear.
Well, fear is a complex emotion because it can be real or it can be unreal. So for some people, they might have a rational fear where, they are maybe in a situation where the adrenaline goes and they know that they could be in danger or they could be really anxious or they've got to stand up. We're talking in the green room about, I get really nervous when I come on and, so there's that kind of fear. And then there's the irrational fears where we just are frightened, but we don't know why. So it could be spiders. Let's say spiders is a classic example. So I had a very irrational fear of spiders. I mean, they're tiny. And I'm huge, so why should I be frightened of this tiny thing? And I couldn't quite get my head around that, so I had to really train myself to think about, myself as this human and this animal, and that, I had nothing to be fearful of. And that's the thing, there's nothing to fear but fear itself, as the saying goes.
So how does it impact our lives then, or why do we let it impact our lives?
I think we let it impact our lives because we don't know what's beyond the fear. So sometimes we'll stay in a situation because we don't know a reality outside that situation, if that makes sense. So we might stick in a particular job because we might not think we're good enough for something else, or there's no other opportunity, or I'm not skilled enough to change, so why change it? But I'm not happy, but why change it? So our fear it sticks us there, it keeps us held in that glue. And when we overcome our fear, that's when we can really open up a whole different gamut of things. And I remember from my own personal experience, I stayed in a position for 14 years and I absolutely loved the job. I really, really, really enjoyed the job. But the internal politics was really, really difficult. And I just thought, well, why am I here? What's the worst that can happen? So I just overcame that fear of speaking up for myself or challenging other colleagues or expressing my point of view. And of course, nothing happened. Nothing happened. My jobs just continued. But once I overcame that fear, I thought, actually, it's time for me to move on now. I've learnt my lesson. I've learned that I do have strength and courage and I can speak for myself.
Yeah, having that courage, isn't it? Conviction. Are there different types of fear?
So as we say, we've got this rational and irrational fear. So if you have an irrational fear, which is something that you're frightened of, but you really don't know where that comes from, you need to really look at yourself and think, well, why am I frightened of a spider, or why am I frightened of heights, or why am I frightened of water? These are the types that are most common where we have this fear but we're not quite sure where it comes from. So you can just slow but surely desensitise yourself to those situations. So whether it is just being in a room with a spider and not running for miles, or going up the first 2 steps of a ladder and feeling really comfortable with that process. We don't need to climb to the top of the ladder, but we can maybe get ourselves a little bit elevated and feel safe. Once we feel safe with an irrational fear, it tends to dissipate. The other fears which grip us and hold us, those are harder because we need to find the courage to overcome that fear. So if you are in a situation in which you're fearful about making change because we don't know what's on the other side, you have to really take a step back and think, well, if I stay here in this place of fear, what is the quality of my life going to be? What's the worst that can happen? And so when we look at that process, we go, well, actually, my quality of life would be better if I just spoke up a little bit, or if I did apply for another job, or if I did move home. It doesn't matter what the destination is, it's getting past that, what's holding you, what's the worst that can happen if I change or if I make these changes in my life. And usually there's nothing really terrible, it's usually pretty good, it's usually pretty awesome when we make these changes and we go, well, what was all that fuss about?
Yeah, like that. Well, I think what I've taken from that is, what's the worst thing that can happen? So having that courage. Good message takeaway today actually from you. Finish off though with our card of the week.
So I've got the spiritual law grace, and this is about you really controlling your fear and looking at the bigger picture. So you may be in a workplace for years and years, but look at the bigger picture. Would you benefit from moving on and having a different experience in your life? And do it with grace. Get that clarity and just get rid of the fear.
Love it. Yeah. Get rid of that fear. Embrace it.
Embrace
and be courageous.
it, really. Yeah.
Great. Look forward to seeing you next week, Phyllis. You have a good day. Rightio. After the break, do you like things of old? Art Deco? I've got the perfect lady for you in the perfect store. Diane is here from Metropolitan.
And whatever happened to Tuesday and so slow?
Do you remember the Wombles? I do. Loved the Wombles. And who do we have here is...
Great Uncle Bulgaria.
He is just too divine. And he is in amazing condition, Diane.
Yes, it is amazing. Someone's obviously had it on display, I think, rather than chewing it. And
it brings back happy memories. And you know what? The Wombles were so ahead of their time.
They were. I don't know why they haven't brought them back. They're much more relevant than the Smurfs or
Yeah, they looked after the environment. They were picking up rubbish and they were recycling. They were very cool indeed. Well, I'll just put him just down here for now.
Good.
Of course, Diane joins you from Retropolitan. And for the viewers that may not have come across your store, whereabouts are you located in Christchurch?
Well, I'm on Fitzgerald Avenue at the corner with Hereford Street. So it's a good, easy sight to see. And I'm in a little greenhouse there with 6 orange butterflies on the roof.
Oh.
But I was for 10 years opposite Pico in Barbados Street until the earthquake, of course.
Okay.
So
this is what it's all about, is bits and bobs like the Womble here. But let's start here, first of all. Look at this, original packaging. Tell us about these. How do you get these sort of things?
Well, they are hard to find now, but some of the ladies who run the church shops save them for me, and people bring them in sometimes.
Really?
If the husband's died or something like that, and they bring them in. I hope they're not going to throw them out. Because I specialise in retro menswear, I'm always desperate to buy stubbies, for instance.
Well, do you know what? I can just see old Dougie and my director. I bet he rocked a pair of walk socks, Nose.
And the little walk shorts, crimply and easy care. Do you know, even school teachers and bank clerks used to wear these with
I remember my teachers wearing these.
Yes.
Mr. Speedon, I can remember him now.
With the knee-high socks. And it's a lovely look for the sevens or for stag parties, parties. So I've got a great selection of retro stuff.
That's funky.
I do say funky junk, retro furniture and clothing.
Any burgundy suits? Do you have any suits of burgundy? Because
I
we've got
may
a bit of a
have, and I have had.
man that likes them.
I've got a powder blue one.
A powder blue, Gordon, there you go.
So I do
Rightio.
go in for the old school menswear. That's actually a new hat, because the old guys used to wear them with their brill-creamed hair for 30 years, and you really wouldn't want to be. No.
Oh, no.
And this style
Boater
as
hat.
well.
Okay.
Yes. And I have braces.
Ties.
And cravats.
Oh, because cravats.
Yes. Some are old. This is a very old one, made in New Zealand, and some I make.
But those there, look at the little horses, would be great for Cup Day.
Oh, yes, it's a very traditional one. I think it might be a tootle. Oh, no, well, it's made in New Zealand anyway.
Oh, I love it.
And
even
well,
the
you
vest.
need to smoke a pipe, I feel, and have elbow
We're not advocating
patch.
that.
No.
We're smoke-free at CTV. It's great.
No, but you just hold
you
it
just
and
hold
look
it.
manly.
Okay. It's for looks.
And
it's for looks.
vests, I've got probably 20 different vests on offer, and braces.
Now, I just have to come down here because over here, I remember making for babies.
Yes.
Yes.
Or your
making baby
tomato
food.
chutney.
Yes.
Well, I've got a whole room full of vintage kitchenware. So
How
please,
fab.
if you're cleaning out your old mum's place, don't throw out your rolling pins and your mincers, and especially your swift whip beaters.
They're the best beaters. You
The
can't beat
best.
that. And
I
it's the
don't
wooden
know-
handle, and
Yes.
they go
They're
like
very
clappers.
sought after.
Oh,
and the
awesome.
steam pudding basins and old.
I still have one of those.
They're marvellous.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 in different sizes because, you know, I'm still a cook.
And Tupperware.
Yes, I've got quite a selection of Tupperware. You know, 32 years since Tupperware started.
Well, that's the thing about Tupperware. It's one of those wonderful products. Unfortunately, when you buy it, you actually don't need to buy it again.
No, it goes.
Well, you know, it goes and goes and
a
goes.
customer came in and told me that they still honour their guarantee, and so if your lid splits, you can get a replacement.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible.
It is.
Fondues, a bit of fun. Flashback to the 70s, weren't they?
Yes, good fun and a great way to have a dinner party, because instead of 3 hours preparation and 5 minutes eating, it's just about the other way around.
Oh, I think it's just wonderful. And last but not least, lovely little tea cosy. You need a tea cosy.
My mother's cousin used to make them for me until she died at 96.
Oh.
And the very day I went to her funeral, an elderly lady came in and said, "I've come about the Christmas pudding tea cosies." I said, "I'm sorry, Sister Gemma's died." She said, "No, I wondered if you'd like me to knit some for you."
Oh, what a
That's
gem.
Mary Manderson, and she's 80, and she makes them for me.
Oh,
and
good on you, Diane. Hey, I've loved
Thank
hanging on
you.
today. I can't wait to see the next goodies you bring in to us. It's been wonderful.
Thank
There
you.
goes George Harrison. Here comes the sun. Don't know if it's actually going to come today. Have a wonderful day. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.